And that's part of the inverse talking rule, you know. We see this in teaching grad students to go off to job interviews and give job seminars. So typically, you know, a seminar, at least in my field, there's usually an hour slot, but often it's really only 50 minutes. And somebody uses up 2 or 3 minutes introducing you. So it may even just be 45. Let's say it's 45. A really big mistake is to talk for 45 minutes. So if it's 45, you want to talk for 40. And if that means leaving some things out, that's fine. I think you want to be strategic about what you leave out. So you leave out all these little side details about exactly how you built the box the lizard lived in or something, because people can ask you about that. And I think the way to think about this is imagine 45 minutes is the total you've got. And imagine there's some total amount of information you want to get across. You can either use the whole 45 minutes for that, or you can use 40 minutes and give a little bit less of it. If you give a little less of it, the people in the audience will get to ask you about it. The same amount of information will have been delivered, but your impact as a visiting speaker is incredibly bigger with the second version because your audience got to participate. And you got to show you knew even more than you talked about. Now keep in mind, I said the amount of information was identical. So isn't that interesting? I mean, the total information is the same, but you come off looking better and your audience has a better time in the second version. I think it's harder for younger people sometimes. I know I was criticized for this when I was in grad school and just out of grad school. We're so proud of what we learned, and we so want to show people how much we know. And so it's so tempting to just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And it's really off-putting beyond some level, you know. It's really off-putting. It's a terrible thing to do in a job interview. So when we coach our students before they go to job interviews, and we tell them about this, not only for in their seminar, but also when they have their every 30-minute meetings, which is, in my field at least, that's what happens in a job interview. All day long, you're meeting for 30 minutes with a different person. And we tell you, if you go in there and just talk nonstop, that's going to be said at the faculty meeting 2 weeks later when they talk about who to hire. She couldn't talk about anybody but herself. Or he, all he did was talk about, he never asked me a single question about myself. That will be said about you if that's what you do. So we try to warn people about that.